Hey, Mike.
We're Senate Transportation. It's the 14th and we're doing me testimony and we have Michael O'Grady here.
Good morning, this is Mike O'Grady with Legislative Council. Hopefully you have a document in front of you that says Senator Westman Proposal 2 with a 1.1 after it with the March 13th date and a 6/31 p.m. timestamp. So to refresh your recollection, you were looking at S46, but you got, which had both a purchase and use tax exemption and a sales tax exemption for certain motor vehicles and other forestry equipment used by the timber harvesting community. You received a fiscal estimate from JFO, which was what it was. I won't characterize it. And you decided to amend the bill or look at ways to amend the bill to reduce the fiscal impact. Senator Westman had a proposal yesterday, and this is a refinement of that. So what it does is it does remove the sales tax exemption entirely because of the uncertainty of how much it would cost and what impact it would have on the ed fund. It retains the existing purchase and use tax that is in statute already for the following motor vehicles used for timber cutting, timber removal, and processing of timber or other solid wood forest products. So skidders, grapple and cable, color bunchers, forwarders, deliverers, that is already subject to a purchase and use tax. You're not changing that except you're allowing for repair parts to also under this, which it likely would not, purchase and use tax is not going to apply to repair parts, but you're just, if it becomes something that's part of the cost of the vehicle, then the exemption will apply to it as well. But then for new types of motor vehicles that you were contemplating in S46, there's going to be a 50% of the final tax imposed by the chapter on the following motor vehicles, including their repair parts used for timber cutting, timber removal, processing, timber or other solid food product, forest products. And they would be semi-trailers, tractors, truck cranes, tractors, trailers, and motor trucks, and then motor vehicles with the manufacturer's listed gross vehicle weight of 10,000 pounds or more. You retain the language that DMV may require a purchaser to certify that the motor vehicle or other equipment is exempt under the section, and you retain the directive that DMV shall publish guidance relating to the application of the exemption. There is a definition of motor truck that's added to the definition section for purchase and use truck, purchase and use tax, because it was absent previously, and then the act would take effect July 1, 2025.
Go ahead.
Can you explain again why including the repair parts and the repair parts aren't subject to the purchase and use tax?
There and maybe Sam or someone else can. Sometimes the repair parts are part of the cost of the motor vehicle. They're like the
Like they're separate, like here's an extra muffler that I'm installing
right,
in the
yeah,
car,
yeah,
like a parts car.
yeah. And they're included in the value of what you purchased for the motor vehicle.
So if I go in, I have a truck,
Right.
it doesn't have the right kind of a hitch for a trailer, but it's an add-on to the vehicle. It ends up in the full cost of that. And if you bought it after you leave the dealership,
Right.
it would be under the sales tax. But because if you added that hitch on before it leaves the drive for the dealership, it becomes its purchase and use.
So it'd be repair parts or really any part.
It's going to be probably any part that's
Right.
going to be sold as the value of the vehicle.
But it's just the value of the vehicle.
Yeah.
It's just clarifying if there are
Yeah.
some repair parts that are included, then that should be part of that.
But
And this,
But
go ahead.
But essentially, you only have one shot at
This
getting the
exemption.
exemption for the repair parts.
Yeah.
And could you remind me on the purchase and use, we went over this with the ND, is it the greater than the purchase price or the value that they determine through Blue Book or equivalent, or is it just always the Blue Book?
I thought if you could provide a record of,
To lower it,
Right.
yeah, but it's, so if you, let's say the Blue Book is $40,000, but you paid 42, you pay 42 or you pay 40?
that, I don't know
I
that.
remember that.
I know if it's lower, you pay for what's
If it's
lower.
If it's brand new, the dealership, the dealership all the time does discounts,
Yeah.
all of that. If it's a brand new vehicle and it's coming off a lot, they take what you pay. If it, where this would, what your question would land,
For used,
if you go on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist or someplace and you buy a second hand piece, I don't know what they use for a book, but they must have an equivalent.
and if you pay more than the book, do you pay what you paid or does it get lower to?
I don't know.
I don't know.
That I don't know.
I can find
Probably
out.
pretty rare.
Right.
That doesn't affect this bill, so I don't want to hold this up for that, but I was.
It's interesting. I have no idea on that, but
I think they go by the sales agreement. Bill of sale. Otherwise, you'd have to not be truthful. Right.
But you could just say like, well, yeah, I paid 42, but it's only worth 40.
yeah, but I don't know. They must have, but
I think it's the same for as pleasure vehicles. You have to fill out a form like you do with a regular vehicle, I believe, but I don't know.
we can ask that question of DMV and
Right.
figure out.
At some point,
Okay,
but I'm okay with this.
Okay.
I have one more question. Are we losing, we talked about this, but I just want to make sure, just in this language, we're not losing the current sales and use exemption that
It's
exists.
not changing.
This is all new language.
This is right. We are not affecting the sales and use tax exemption at all. The existing one that's there for certain forestry and harvesting equipment is unchanged.
Okay.
Except that we're adding, including the repair parts.
But this is purchase and use tax.
Oh,
Right,
right, because that's just sales tax because they're not being used.
right. And you're not amending the sales tax at all
Right.
because of the concern you had about estimating the fiscal impact.
Right.
yeah, and politically, I would say to you that the finance committee is the policy committee around the ed fund. And they guard that pretty.
Right.
It's not that policy committees haven't tried to horn in on other policy committees area, but in this situation, I think we're very limited.
And I don't know what your rules say, but in the past, finance had pretty much authority to do whatever they wanted. There is that clause in their rules previously, in your rules previously, that certain chairs of finance said, let them do whatever they wanted.
So, are we ready? Do I have a motion?
Motion, so moved.
A second?
Okay, and so this is for proposal 2.
No,
This is just an
1.1.
amendment to the other skill.
Yes, so
Oh,
we're voting on the
Proposal
amendment.
2, but 1.1.
I think we're voting on the amendment, is what I heard Senator Brandon say.
Right?
Then we'll vote.
How do you want to do it? I
after.
mean,
Yeah, or I mean,
approve the amendment.
So however you want to make the motion, what I heard for a motion is that, you're moving S 46 with draft 1.1.
Yes, and I wasn't clear in that motion.
1.1 have your has your 1.1.
Yes, 1.1
amendment. So moving to 46 as amended.
as amended with draft 1.1.
Correct.
And what-
Dated 3/13.
Which,
Just gonna put that
that's the date of the.
amendment. That's the date of the
Oh,
amendment, right?
6/31.
Yep.
What's the draft number of the bill?
I just have S
The draft
46.
number of the amendment,
No, the bill. That's 46.
it's just S 46. Right?
Did we change?
With this, you were.
With this,
Other, we didn't make other change.
No.
Uh-oh.
I mean, I did, I'll just say, I mean, I do kind of wish I could vote no on the amendment and vote yes on the bill, ultimately, like if I could have my druthers on procedure, but I'm respectful of however the motion goes down, because I'm really grateful that this committee took this bill up and that we're moving it forward. And thank you, Council O'Grady, for doing the draft of the proposal that I had asked for. We actually discussed it earlier and there didn't seem to be resounding support for exploring that alternative, but thank you for drafting it.
I would just say before we vote, we're sending it out. The issue's alive. We've given it a wagon and we wish all the people that wanna add trinkets to this wagon, we're wishing you luck.
Okay, so I'll call a roll.
Yep, please.
Okay, Senator White,
Yes,
Senator Harrison, yes, Senator Perchlik,
I'm still not sure that this amendment, does the only change.
It's a strike all
by,
amendment.
Strike all amendments, so it only has one section.
And it has three sections. It has the purchase and use tax amendment. It has the addition of motor truck to the definitions for purchase and use tax. And then it has the effective date.
Right. So, I mean, yeah, only one, really.
so we don't have a document that shows that.
No, you do.
Yeah, we did. It's basically the
Oh,
amendment.
that's this.
Yeah.
This is the strike all amendment. This is.
The right one.
So it is the
This will be what you're
This is
voting on as
It's the
bill,
whole
yeah.
thing.
Right.
There isn't a bill with it after this amendment, the amendment is a strike all.
Right.
Motion is
Okay.
S 46 as amended in draft 1.1.
Okay, sorry. Yes.
That's perfectly fine.
Okay, so Senator White was yes, I'm yes, Senator Perchlik,
Yes.
Senator Brennan,
yes.
and Senator West.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the vote was 5-0.
Did she call you?
yeah, I voted for
Okay.
it.
All right. Okay.
Westland's used to being clerk where you just don't call certain people.
Well,
No,
normally he's
no,
before
no,
me and I'm
that's
after.
not true. I only call people that speak out of line.
No, but I'm before, you're always before me and then I'm after you, so.
Senator Brennan, you haven't done any bills yet. Would you like to do a bill?
I would be more than happy to. Well,
And I
Okay.
would encourage you, when you go to finance, to tell them what we took out from the original and our reasoning, and make it clear that there are people that would advocate for that to be put back in.
Mhm.
And the reason we did it was specifically because that is their bailiwick and we would be respectful. But if you open the door for the advocates, I think there's sentiment around this table that we'd like to see them explored if they wanted to.
Yep.
Thank you.
Great. Have a good day and a good weekend. Thank you.
Thank you all very much.
Mike, what you done here? Clean copy?
That's
Or is
pretty,
that the
I
clean
think
copy?
that's clean.
Already.
Doesn't have any
The one
highlight.
that says.
I'll take Western
Here we go.
proposal off.
I think that's it.
Okay.
Okay, so.
I think
I'll
we're
take
done.
you
I think that's like
Um,
we did.
Do you have any work for your other committee?
I do.
Bye.
Do you,
Okay.
You get some time.
Okay, thank you.
I think we've
Appreciate
done
that.
good work here this week and I'm glad we're we've got a number of bills out.
And can we just say thank you, because I really appreciate you navigating, particularly, I don't know if folks noticed, but I've kind of had a lot of issues that I brought to the table, so I really
We
appreciate you.
haven't noticed.
Yeah, it's good. I thought it was flying into the radar, but I really appreciate it, and I am excited to see what the House sends us with the T-bill, because we're gonna have a lot of work to do when they send it over. Do we have a timeline of when they?
And I would just say to you, starting next week, it's gonna be mostly TV.